Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to speak with you about the rising price of diesel and a little known correlation between that and bankruptcies throughout the trucking industry. Now, before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure you subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased-out owner-operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always, guys, big thank you for all the likes you've provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming, and let's talk about these rising diesel prices and bankruptcies throughout trucking. There is a correlation, and here's another correlation. Last week we produced a video regarding the Russia versus Ukraine conflict that's on everybody's mind at the moment. If you haven't seen that video, definitely take a look at it here in the corner, because that basically it's greatly complementary to the topic that we're going to talk about today. And we talked about the fact that diesel is going to come up in price because crude oil is going to come up in price, and then fast forward 1 week later, and today we're seeing considerably higher diesel prices. In fact, right now the national average for a gallon of diesel throughout the United States is at $4.15 per gallon. And that's just the national average. I'm seeing many of you guys are above that average, and definitely a costly part of operating a trucking company. And this is kind of where we want to get into, because there is this little known metric, and it sits at 25%. What that metric says is that basically analysts, business analysts agree that once the cost of diesel or cost of fueling up your fuel cost exceeds 25% of your total revenue for the same period of time, then you're on the brink of bankruptcy, and that's generally when we're seeing bankruptcies increase. That doesn't mean that if you're filling up above $4.15 a gallon that you're going to go bankrupt. Don't misunderstand. But that's generally when we start to see a spike and an increase in bankruptcies throughout the trucking industry specifically. Now, work with me on here. I know that your numbers will be slightly different, or maybe very different, but adjust to your needs. The average truck is going to run about 12,000 miles. The average truck is going to get you about 6 miles a gallon. That means that per month, they're going to burn about 2,000 gallons of diesel. That means that at $4.15 per gallon, if nothing changed and we remained at that dollar figure, and you could consistently fill up at that dollar figure, you would be burning about $8,300 worth of diesel every single month. Okay? Now, to be at 25%, that would mean that you would have to gross over $33,000 per month in order to be in that danger zone of 25% of cost, right? So what's going to happen to a lot of the trucking companies out there, because we've seen an influx of brand new MCs that have entered the trucking industry, bought overpriced equipment, and jumped in to do what's now being called rate chasing, where they're going after the highest paying loads and trying to basically make a buck in today's hot market in the freight industry, right? So here's the issue. It's one thing if you have a paid off truck, you got money saved up for maintenance and repairs, you have contacts in the industry, and you've been through the ups and downs of the trucking industry over the last decade, 20 years, whatever it may be. So you have a good amount of experience, right? It's completely different if you bought overpriced equipment, your insurance is through the roof, diesel price is killing you, you have a brand new MC, and most brokers don't want to work with you, and you don't really know how to negotiate rates or your lanes, you don't understand commodities, and everything is kind of pinned against you. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of companies will go bankrupt. Now, I hope I'm wrong, but from what we've seen, generally this is basically what happens. So the interesting thing is that as of last week, we've seen an increase in pricing. Now, as of September of 2021 to about now the end of February of 2022, we saw a difference of 77 cents in diesel, okay? That 77 cents basically equates, based on the previously mentioned numbers, to about $1,500 additional funds that you would have to pay to run the same amount of miles. Now, year to year, we're at over $1 increase in diesel, which would mean that you'd have to pay over $25,000 in additional money in order to operate the same amount of miles and make the same amount of money. So the question is, right now, we're considerably higher than that. In fact, the figures that we're talking about at $4.15 a gallon do not actually consider the recent spike in diesel, because those numbers went to the end of February, and we're now in the first week of March. So the bottom line is we are seeing a consistent rise in diesel that will affect the trucking industry. Can you operate at $8,300, $9,000, $10,000 per month in diesel price? And what will happen to the industry where we have a truck driver shortage, truck shortage, trailer shortage, semiconductor shortages, all sorts of part shortages? Will that affect the trucking industry, and how will that affect it? Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about that. How much did you fill up on your last fill up? Where did you fill up? How much did it cost you? Please let us know. Let the entire community know. I'm sure a lot of folks will be interested, and will be going through the comment section there and adding their thoughts in as well. Please hit the like button on this video if you haven't done so. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Share it if you'd like. And I'm going to switch over to camera, and we're going to look over the loads we booked for our customers, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back, guys. Let's take a look at some of these loads. I do want to mention one thing for all the new guys that are out there, and actually this is good for even the experienced truck drivers. I'm going to leave a little card here in the corner of the video. This is for an older video, but very, very important. It's some of the top reasons why owner-operators failed. It was a very popular video and definitely a must-watch for the newer guys. So if you've made it this far into the video, good on you, because that's a video you definitely want to watch. Anyway, let's get started. We're going to start with a Reefer coming out of Council Bluffs, Iowa, going to Lafayette, Indiana. It's a 37,000-pound load of frozen food at -10 on a Reefer. 565 miles booked. That's $2,637. Got them $467 a mile. Then Lebanon, Indiana, with a 1-pick 3-dropper going to Warren, Michigan, Livonia, Michigan, and a final in Bay City, Michigan. This is a 40,300-pound load of mixed groceries at 35 degrees on a Reefer. 452 miles booked at $2,600. Got them $575 a mile. Then Stanwood, Michigan, going to Friendly, Minnesota. 43,700-pound load of bottled water. It's a protect from freeze load. 638 miles booked at $2,600. Got them $408 per mile. Then Owatonna, Minnesota, going to Kansas City, Missouri. It's a 41,000-pound load of frozen groceries. It was a recovery load going to a Costco store. 374 miles booked at $2,500. Got them a solid $668 per mile. Then we had a load that got canceled due to a mistake on the broker's side. The product was actually delivering to Ohio and was actually located in Arkansas, in an Arkansas facility. And so it was actually coming out of Olathe, Kansas, but ended up being a totally different pickup. And it was going to Amherst, Ohio. So we got $150 in truck order not used, TONU, so a little bit of extra money there. Then right out of Olathe, Kansas, with a 1-pick 2-dropper going to South Haven, Mississippi, and New Albany, Mississippi. It's a 30,000-pound load of protein and bodybuilding products, 0 degrees on a Reefer, 539 miles booked at $3,500, got him $649 a mile. An excellent week for this driver. It's a Reefer running Monday to Monday. Grossed $13,987 in gross for the week, ran 2,568 loaded miles at an average of 545 per loaded mile average. Very, very well done. Great job. Next, we got a dry van coming out of Essex Junction, Vermont, going to Union City, Georgia. It's a 41,000-pound load of beverages, 1,174 miles booked at $4,000. Got them $341 a mile. Then Atlanta, Georgia to Rockingham, North Carolina, 40,000-pound load of paper products. That's 319 miles booked at $1,600. Got them $502 a mile. Then Maxton, North Carolina to Findlay, Ohio. It's a 41,000-pound load of flooring materials. 606 miles booked at $1,840. Got them $304 a mile. And they finished off with Willard, Ohio, going to Logan, Utah. It's a 39,200-pound load of agricultural supplies. $1,680 on the miles, booked at $6,000. Got them $357 a mile. Very respectable. These guys ran for a full week. Ended up grossing $13,440 for the week. 3,779 loaded miles at an average of 356 a mile. with a small caveat here. This last load going to Utah was actually delivered a day late on the 2nd. And due to the driver experiencing some delays on the shipping side. So it was actually 8 days on the road. But this is a very strong driver, definitely taking advantage of his hours of service. Fully, if the 10-hour break is ending at 2 a.m., that's when he starts driving. And he hits $700 to $750 miles per 24-hour clock fully legally, does very, very well. And so even when setbacks are in his path, he still ends up making well over $13,000. So excellent job on that end. Next, we got ourselves a Reefer coming out of Matthews, North Carolina, going to Lewis Center, Ohio. It's palletized load, temperature-controlled film and sheeting. Don't know the weight on this one, but it's 60 degrees on a Reefer. 458 miles, booked at $1,980. Got him $432 a mile. Then Groveport, Ohio to Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. It's a 40,000-pound load of miscellaneous groceries going to an Aldi's. 55 degrees on a Reefer. 215 miles, booked at $1,700. Got him $791 a mile. Then Charleroi, Pennsylvania to London, Kentucky. It's a light load, 22,000 pounds of frozen breakfast product for Walmart, running negative 10 degrees on a Reefer. 431 miles, booked at $2,500. Got him $580 per mile. Then Paris, Kentucky, going to Wilmington, North Carolina. This is a non-hazmat chemical load on this palletized dry load. Reefer stayed off on this one. 609 miles, booked at $2,500. Got him $411 a mile. And then Burga, North Carolina, going to Cumming, Georgia. It's a 40,000-pound load of palletized blueberries, negative 10 on a Reefer. 432 miles, booked at $2,000. Got him $463 per mile. They finished off right at Atlanta, going to Mabane, North Carolina. It's a 25,000-pound load of frozen food for a Walmart delivery at negative 10 on a Reefer again. 361 miles, booked at $2,400. Got him $665 a mile. And that was it for this driver, running a week, Thursday to Thursday. Grossed $13,080 in his Reefer. Ran 2,506 loaded miles at an average of 522 per loaded mile average. Very, very well done. Next, we got ourselves a dry van coming out of Edgerton, Kansas, going to Pensacola, Florida. It's a light load at 18,000 pounds of palletized pretzels. 921 miles, booked at $3,400. Got him $369 a mile. Then Bruton, Alabama, going to Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's a 44,300 pound load of FAK. Freight of all kinds. 447 miles, booked at $1,700. Got him $380 a mile. Then right at Bowling Green, Kentucky to Janesville, Wisconsin. 35,000 pound load of general freight for a Dollar General store. 507 miles. Booked at $1,700, got him $335 a mile. Then Rockford, Illinois, going to Shell Rock, Iowa. It's a 5,000 pound load of foam. It's palletized, very light, 207 miles. Booked at $1,225 on the rate. Got him $592 per mile. They finished off with Eldora, Iowa, going to Minot, North Dakota. It's a 10,000 pound load of seeds in bags. 696 miles, booked at $3,600. Got him $517 a mile. And they ran for 1 week, running Friday to Friday. Grossed $11,625 in gross on their dry van. Ran 2,778 loaded miles at an average of 418 per loaded mile average. And that included a 34-hour reset over the weekend. Very, very well done. Then we got ourselves a Reefer coming out of Shelbyville, Delaware, going to Milan, Missouri. It's a 40,000 pound load of fresh chicken, running 26 degrees continuous on a Reefer. It's 1,131 miles, booked at $3,700. Got him $327 a mile. Then Milan, Missouri, going to Burgon, North Carolina. It's a 43,600 pound load of fresh pork. 1,169 miles, booked at $5,300. Got him $453 per mile. Then Pantego, North Carolina, going to Cortland, Indiana. It's a 42,000 pound load of eggs at 35 degrees on a Reefer. 751 miles, booked at $2,500. Got him $333 a mile. They finished off at Robbinsville, Illinois, going to Annville, Pennsylvania. Light load, 16,200 pound load of chocolate at 55 degrees on a Reefer. 682 miles, booked at $3,000 even. Got them $440 per mile. These guys also ran for a week. It's all of these are solo. I know I keep saying guys, but none of these are teams. So this is a week run, Friday to Friday. Gross $14,500 in their Reefer, averaging $388 per loaded mile at 3,733 loaded miles ran. And we're going to finish off with another Reefer coming out of Los Angeles, California, going to Cary, Illinois. 39,000 pound load of acrylic latex, running 55 to 65 degrees on a Reefer. It did require a tanker endorsement. Luckily, the driver had that. 1,997 miles booked at $5,500. Got him $275 a mile, going to an excellent market. Then out of Bensenville, Illinois, going to Edwardsville, Illinois. Real quick run. Unfortunately, that load did not work out. Was actually was booked originally for $2,020, but ended up getting canceled at the shipper. We received a $150 tonu on that one. Then we ended up booking a load out of Addison, Illinois to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. 25,600-pound load of frozen donuts at -10 on a reefer. 522 miles booked at $3,000. Got him $575 a mile. Then out of Goodlettsville, Tennessee to Hinckley, Ohio. It's a 40,000-pound load of pork and beef, running 20 degrees on a reefer. It was a Tyson Foods pickup going to Aldi. It was a late pickup, and Aldi that receives from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. overnight, so that worked out. 484 miles booked at $2,200. Got him $455 a mile. So picked up one day, delivered the next day, 484 miles with a late pick, and obviously a very late to early delivery. So needless to say, very well done. 484 miles, $2,200 booked, got him $455 a mile. They ran for a week on the road, grossed $10,850. Ran 3,003 miles at an average of 361 per loaded mile average. And starting in a very bad Western market. And, as you may or may not know, California, the Western states have really declined in rates. So what used to be good is no longer good. And they ended up in Midwest, a great place for some serious money. They're going to be in Ohio, another fantastic market. And next week is going to look up for these guys. Excellent job for all drivers involved. Excellent job for all the dispatchers. And look, you can be making this kind of money. If fuel is going to come up, the one way you can fight for it is to have a strong team of dispatchers on your team who are going to know their rates, miles. They're going to know their commodities, their lanes. They're going to have the strength of negotiation, and they have the experience to basically consistently get you these types of loads, this kind of money. If you're a leased on owner operator, we'll work with you guys too. That's another way to shave off costs. You don't need to go with operations that are charging you 30-35% or anything like that, and working in a captive market. You need to be as in an open market as you possibly can. You need to save every dollar, every penny, and really set money aside for a rainy day. So we work with carriers under their own MC authority. We work with leased on owner operators. Make sure to get in touch with us by calling or texting us at 801-448-6363. You can also reach us on our website at aftdispatch.com/go. All the information is there. Fill out the form. We'll get in touch with you, answer any and all questions that you may have. You can also fill out our chat box at the bottom of any one of our web pages. Takes 10 seconds. You'll get all the information requested, and we'll be very happy to work with you very soon. Until next week, guys, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.